Alright, this video is for, I think it's Antonio Peoples. You asked me a question, and thanks for watching another vid. You asked me a question about you wanted to relocate to Phoenix, and would a trucking company send for you? Now, I guess the bigger question is I don't know a lot of your background, so I'm going to try to answer this question or make suggestions in two different ways. If you do not have a CDL, the first thing that you want to do is research trucking schools or companies that will train you. I think it's thetruthinTrucking.com where I think he does a ranking on different trucking schools and companies to go work for to get your CDL. Do understand if you do, where you work for a company, you have to work for them for a period of time, or they may go ahead and charge you the cost of the schooling if you leave them early and you still owe them that money, okay? So, and your trucking school training could be anywhere from a couple thousand to up to 10,000, depends on what you're getting. I do know that several people that I knew got grants. So if you're unemployed or if you're working a job where you're not making much money, what I would do is reach out to your local unemployment office, even if you are employed, and ask them about grants to become a trucker. There was a grant program that's been around for quite some time. My friend's husband went to trucking school on his grant for free. So there's grants out there. That's number one. So the first course of business is getting your CDL if you don't have it. You definitely want to work on your permit, and there's study exams, electronic study exams you can do online. I use quite a few. You can Google them, but if you need, I think it's Dread Pirate or Dread something truck driver. He works for Swift, and he put up a bunch of stuff on passing your CDL and tests that you can take to practice. I think CRST or Christ or something like that is one that has listings, but you can just put up their Class A CDL, you can put up their Hazmat CDL, test practices. There's even Google stuff, YouTube on it. If you have your CDL or if you're getting your CDL and then you're looking for a trucking company and you want to relocate from Phoenix. So he is in Florida, everybody. This guy's in Florida. So anybody want to comment below and let him know if you know of something different, please feel free to let him know. But Antonio, you're in Florida. Now, I do know, at least for what I used to carry, Florida is a state that doesn't have a lot of, we call them freight lanes. And so I used to go in, when I was with Pride with a reefer load, I went right into Jacksonville and I turned back around and left out. And so I deadheaded a lot to another state or another area. So Florida's freight is, now there are companies that hire in Florida and allow you to home time anywhere in the U.S. I think, well, Conway now was XPO, now CFI again. You could contact them if you're an experienced driver, but they also now take new drivers. So that may be a good company to look at because you can pretty much go anywhere in the U.S. and home time with them. But they're going to get you to their closest terminal or closest location, probably for your training, and I think most of their training is done out of Joplin, Missouri. If you're needing more details than that, then also another option would be a headhunter. There are trucking headhunters. I think Sinister, I watched a video of his where he went to Joplin, Missouri to meet up with some Prime members that are part of the Team RG. And he was there also with a headhunter. I don't know why I want to call a woman Heather or Holly or something like that. There was a lady in the car who drove him there, and she's a headhunter. You could probably reach out to her, and he gave her information in the video. It's been a couple months ago, but you should be able to find that. If I have time on here, I'm trying to pack for possibly leaving tomorrow. So if I have time today or tomorrow, I will go ahead and put the links below. If not, I'll do it as soon as I can do it. But you can probably go back to his videos, and it hasn't been that long ago. He met up with some of the Team RG, and he was in Joplin, Missouri at Prime. and he was joking around that he was going over to Prime, but he was there visiting some drivers that are part of the Team RG membership. So he also talked about she's a headhunter, so you could probably go through a headhunter like her and tell her what you're trying to do and see what her suggestions are. Your other option is to go ahead and you can go with some of the big boy companies. So here in Arizona, the two companies that are headquartered here that are starter and career-based companies would be Night Transport and Swift. Their headquarters are here in Arizona. The issue, though, is that you're currently in Florida. So let's say they hire you out of Florida. They're not going to bring you all the way out here to Arizona in most cases. They're going to bring you to the closest terminal and have you go through orientation and background and all of that there. Now, if you're going to go to their trucking school, they have more than one location. I think Memphis has a school, Utah has a school, Arizona has a school, and I'm not sure. They might have schools somewhere else that I'm unaware of. And that's just Swift. Knight, I don't know where all their schools are. I know they have one in Phoenix. I don't know where every last school is for them. I only know of the one for Phoenix. I hadn't heard of any in any of their other facilities. I know they have a Utah yard, so I have no idea. Werner, while it does have a terminal here in Arizona, it is headquartered out of Nebraska. And I do not know if Werner trains brand new drivers or not. I do know they recruited me out of trucking school, which is how I started, and they were my starter. They're my original starter company. So I do know they have a terminal here. What I would suggest is that you want to find a company that has something here in Arizona. Now, if you can get on and you're an experienced driver, you get on with a smaller company. Like, for example, I'm here in Arizona, and when I was working for Pride, they bused me to Utah because they only had one terminal, which was Utah. So I had to do my orientation and pick up my truck and testing out all there. So if I wanted to relocate to Utah, it's fine. But Utah is one state up. It's not, it's not far. You're talking about coming all the way across the country to relocate, and that you want the trucking company to send for you to do that. I don't know that that's necessarily going to happen in that way. So, other people can make suggestions for you and find out if that's something you're trying to do. Yes, trucking companies do send buses or have you come by plane. Oftentimes it's a bus, unfortunately. And they have you go, but it's usually to the closest facility to your home address. Now, once you probably get here in Arizona on a visit, then what I would suggest that you do from there, sorry, my necklaces are tangling. What I would suggest you do from there is that you would establish an address of some sort. And you can do that through UPS. So the UPS store allows you a physical address if you don't have an apartment. If you have family members here, it's going to make it even easier for you because you can then use your family member's address as a permanent address, and then you could just change your license over. Now, the issue, though, is that if you do that and you say, well, I'm sitting in Florida, then they may require that you get your way back home to Arizona, and then they train you. So I don't know how you want to play the cards on that, but if anybody else has any suggestions. So basically what he's trying to do is get a company he can work for that's going to help him get from Florida to Phoenix. And again, I don't know if he's an experienced driver or not. If you're experienced, probably put that in the comments so people know what we're dealing with. But I'm trying to go based on experience and non-experience. Experience, I would just find a company that lets you home time anywhere you want to. And home time here in Arizona. Get all your crap together. If you're going to get an apartment, get an apartment. If you're just going to be a roller like me, put your stuff in storage here. Get yourself a UPS box locally. And then change your driver's license over to Arizona. That's my suggestion for you. Anybody else, make suggestions as you see fit. That's the best I can tell you. Peace out.